that's going to allow
It
uh,
proposes to
yeah,
let prisoners donate orgage
mortgage.
in it proposes to allow prisoners to donate organs in exchange for shorter prison sentences. And this
That doesn't sound like a slippery slope.
this just is just wild to me because this to me sound like that should never be on the table for
Yeah,
one.
right.
But this to me sounds like something that starts out as like, well, you donate, something small. I think bone marrow was a part of it. I don't remember what exactly it was. What else?
Probably
But
kidney, liver.
it's, yeah, stuff that you could live without,
Yeah.
gallbladder, whatever. Um,
Well, gallbladder, I
I
don't
don't know
think
about
anyone.
that,
Yeah, I
but
wouldn't.
things that you could live
Part of
without.
your liver, eighty
Um,
percent of your liver, I guess.
yeah, yeah, stuff
A
like that.
lung.
I think that this starts out as like, I don't know, they float it as like a goodwill thing. So you do some good, you get extra time, right? Because some people need these organs. So you know what? If you're compatible, maybe you could do that. And you can get a couple years off or something.
Right.
But I see this very quickly devolving into a situation where it's like you're just given absurd prison sentences, and the only way out of them is to donate organs.
Yeah. Oh, you stole a car? Well, that's 20 years.
Yeah, or like
Oh.
you get like sentenced. You basically get set. You get like 100 years for like a petty crime, and then they're like, well, if you just give someone, 80% of your liver, then we'll give you a normal sentence.
Mhm.
It'll be a 3-year sentence instead of 100 years, right? And then it might get even more extreme, where it's like, well, maybe you give up more.
Yeah.
You give up a lung.
I had an idea for this a long time ago, actually. Oddly enough, it was
There's like it almost encourages people
yeah,
or law enforcement to um, to like put people in jail
right.
if there's a high demand
Right.
for like organs and things. It's just
Yeah.
like
Well, I had this idea when I sold life insurance a while back when I was an advisor. I thought, okay, so you know how a lot of people don't have money, right to the end of their life, essentially, right? They
mhm,
might have a house. That might be the only thing they have. They don't have any money to leave
right.
kids or that kind of thing. I thought about it if somebody was, you know, let's say they knew they were terminally ill on something else or whatever, and they had good organs to give, or they literally just wanted to commit suicide, but they were like, how can I leave money to a loved one, to their family or whatever? And they could actually do an organ sale as they die. They sell the organs now um, instead of donating them, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of falls into the same line, right?
Yeah, I think it opens the door to so many dystopian
So do
things
I.
where
Yeah.
like you really incentivize people to do that.
Yeah.
It sounds good at first, right?
Hmm.
But then it's like, ooh, but what if like now we find ourselves in a situation where we're kind of pushing people into a scenario where that's the only option they have, or it's
Hmm.
the only option they feel they have, and they're going to be like heavily pushed into it.
Yeah.
Like it's like this whole legalized euthanasia that they're doing. The government's even recommending it sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
so
Where it gets really weird is like if you're of sound mind, I mean, and you decide that you want to kill yourself, sure, I think you should be able to avail yourself of that with some grace time because
yeah.
you don't want to make haste decisions. I had a bad fucking day. I'm gonna go kill myself. Um,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think
but
I think you should be able to, but
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't I don't think we should be encouraging
but
anybody to do
exactly.
that, you
And I
know?
mean, when you get into the weird thing, we talked about this on another podcast where
Yeah.
now what if the state can step in and say, we're gonna make that decision, or
Yeah.
they said, you have
It's like what they're
an
doing
adolescent.
it's what they're doing with the transgender kids.
Yeah.
They're recommending surgeries and stuff, and it's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Like, you're talking about like a 12-year-old here,
These
right?
are
And you're
life-changing
you're
surgeries.
recommending that we literally sterilize them.
Yeah.
And so it's like, "What the hell?"
Like that's
So
another
so
slippery
how
slope.
long until they recommend like, "Oh, you're sad?
Yeah.
Well, we get that was one of the main stories, because it's in Canada. It's here in Canada where euthanasia is legal now.
Right.
Is it all Canada or is it like a province or something? I don't
The
know.
only province I would think maybe it wouldn't be would be something like Alberta because they're a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah.
more
It
conservative.
might be federal though. And so, but anyway, one of the stories was a woman wrote to the government about accessibility in her apartment. They wanted them to like build a ramp or something to make it more accessible to her because she was handicapped. And they recommended euthanasia. That's literally what they recommended. It's like, well, we can't install that wheelchair ramp, but we can facilitate your death.
Well, I mean,
It's
hey,
like, holy.
you could call this company, but it's going to cost you about $20,000. You can call this company, probably going to cost you 25,000. Or you just kill yourself.
Oh, you just kill yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I highly recommend
we'll
to
do
kill
that.
yourself.
They do it quick.
Yeah,
Hardly any pain at all.
yeah, it's barely, and you wouldn't even know
But
any.
there
You're
was
going to
that
be
one
dead.
guy that had a reaction. He was all twitchy and he
Yeah.
started foaming at the mouth. We promise we got that under wraps. We fixed it. It's completely fine now.
Yeah, that's the Jake incursion. We got the Jake incursion handled. You might hear that once in a while. We got it. We got it taken care of.
Yeah.
Jake was a bit of a pansy.
I'd be
anyway.
honest. I don't know about you, but as morbid as it is, if I was to be executed, I think I'd rather it be like with a bullet than an injection of
Yeah,
any kind,
yeah. Well, there's all kinds of weird.
or like a giant boulder
Yeah,
that they just push over a hill onto you.
yeah. I mean, it depends on what they're injecting in you, but I don't know. You don't.
I think to me, I just don't trust it enough.
Yeah, you
And,
just
like,
don't know
just
how it's gonna.
shoot me.
Yeah, you don't know how it's.
You
But
know, don't actually shoot me. But you know, if it ever came down to that,
there's all
like,
kinds
I'd
of
surrender.
weird. There's all kinds of weird examples of people that get shot in the head, or the one I
Yeah.
told you about, the guy gets stabbed in the
Yeah,
head.
but you can easily control for that by using a high enough caliber bullet.
Yeah, true.
You
Yes.
just
50 caliber bullet's gonna
just
pretty
an
much blow your
artillery
head off.
shell to the chest. That'll do it.
You know what a 50 caliber bullet looks like? It's like that.
Yeah, they're
That's just gonna tear whatever open. So.
yeah, but you know what? Let's not leave anything to chance. Just an artillery shell to the chest.
Oh.
Just set up the artillery. Boom! You just
I
explode.
showed you that video of the whale where they tried to blow up the dead whale.
Oh yeah,
That's
then
in
it was
the
all of
70s?
we didn't think this through.
Yeah, yeah.
And now there's pieces everywhere.
That's what would
And
happen
it
with a person.
stinks.
That's what would happen with a person.
Yeah, but you could contain it. Probably you could like you know you could have like huge pit or something where you do it into.
We're living a weird time, man. We're talking about weird shit like this.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that kind of goes into it gets into it takes us into our next sort of thing we want to talk about a little bit.